The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. reveals that nothing was done by the two previous administrations regarding post-Yolanda recovery programs more than 1 decade ago.
The National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea, or NTF-WPS, challenges China to open Bajo de Masinloc to an international assessment to evaluate the extent of the damage at the disputed shoal.
Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri steps down as Senate President days before the adjournment of the second regular session of the 19th Congress.
And we will discover why the Israeli army intensified attacks in Gaza as the United States National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan visited Israel for talks.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, the 20th of May, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Marvi Delfin.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Joselito Liquido.
First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. divulged that the Yolanda-hit areas, particularly in Tacloban City, has not yet fully recovered from the super typhoon more than 1 decade ago. Nel Maribuhok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday, May 20, said that nothing was done by the two previous administrations regarding post-Yolanda recovery programs. The chief executive said rehabilitation started just 2 years ago, noting that nothing was done by the previous Duterte and Aquino administrations. In Tacloban City, the president was asked about the badly damaged Maharlika Highway in eastern Visayas.
That's still all those rehabilitation. We only really started 2 years ago because nothing was done in the previous administration. Nothing was done in the administration before that.
President Marcos emphasized that the super typhoon hit areas, particularly in Tacloban City, has not yet fully recovered.
Even up to now, some of the governors, I was talking to them, some of the other officials, hindi talaga pa tayo nakapag-fully recover. Hindi pa natin masasabi nakapag-fully recover pa na tayo sa Yolanda.
Super Typhoon Yolanda, one of the most powerful cyclones recorded in world history, devastated eastern Visayas and other parts of the country in 2013. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, has deployed today over 100 of its personnel to 6 regions in the country. This after authorities monitored high volume of sea vessels and several reported maritime security incidents in said areas. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, identified 6 initial districts or regions across the country as critical. These are Central Luzon, Southern Tagalog, Central Visayas, Western Visayas, Northern Mindanao, and Southwestern Mindanao, or the Zamboanga Peninsula region.
We have identified these 6 critical districts first so that we could augment and intensify our fight against human trafficking, drug smuggling, arms smuggling, and other maritime infringement inside the territorial jurisdiction of our municipalities in the area.
Vice Admiral Robert Patrimonio, commander of the Maritime Security Law Enforcement Group, or MARSLEG, explained this is due to the high volume of sea vessels and several reported maritime security incidents in those areas.
Mataas ang volume ng maritime traffic. So since if maritime traffic is high, so there are possibility of incidents that will be performed by unscrupulous people.
Hence, to intensify the enforcement of maritime law, rules, and security against human trafficking, and illegal fishing, among others, the PCG deployed 110 personnel to those critical areas this morning, May 20. They are equipped with modern technologies such as drones, handheld radios, and K9. Meanwhile, no PCG personnel deployed to the West Philippine Sea. The PCG explained their focus is the domestic or the local issues and violations.
Minsan because na we are concentrating dun sa labas, nakakalimutan natin sa loob. Now we are cleansing inside para mas mapaigting natin ang drive natin to ensure a smooth flow of maritime economics in our country.
More PCG personnel would be deployed in the next few days to augment and strengthen the government's effort to thwart illegal activities within its territory.
Now we are intensifying deployment of our assets, different units of the Maritime Security Law Enforcement Command.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Solicitor General Solgen Manardo Guevara disclosed on Monday, May 20, that he wants the results of the ongoing fact-finding over the case involving Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Go as soon as possible. This is to determine whether Go is unlawfully holding or exercising a public office. Solgen Guevara emphasized his office is giving high priority to the issue. He recently assured that if there would be proof that indeed a violation was committed, the OSG will commence legal proceedings to oust the concerned person.
And for the news abroad, the United Kingdom and Finland have signed a new strategic partnership agreement as a form of support for Ukraine. The partnership will be endorsed by the UK Foreign Secretary Lord David Cameron and Finnish Foreign Minister Elina Valtonen at the event in London. The two ministers argue in their statement that Russia's invasion of Ukraine has changed the security environment and has become the most significant threat to peace in Europe. Furthermore, they also vow to support Ukraine's recovery and reconstruction after this conflict. UK is one of Ukraine's leading donors, committing £12.5 billion since February 2022 for support and £7.6 billion for military aid.
As United States National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan visited Israel for talks, the Israeli army intensified its attacks in Gaza. This resulted in the deaths of dozens in the central area. Mavin Carizo tells us why.
The Israeli army has intensified attacks in Gaza, killing dozens in the central area as U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan visited Israel for the talks. Sullivan aimed to advise Israeli leaders to use targeted tactics and avoid large-scale assaults on Rafah. Despite U.S. concerns, President Herzog and Prime Minister Netanyahu pledged to continue the offensive. The U.S. official emphasized the need for Israel to align its military actions with the political strategy for Hamas's defeat, hostage release, and a better future for Gaza, according to the White House. Nearly 800,000 Palestinians have been displaced from the Rafah since Israel's assault began last week, drawing condemnations from the UN and human rights groups. The Israeli government argues the operation is necessary to eliminate Hamas's last stronghold. Israeli military escalated attacks in Gaza, conducting airstrikes that resulted in at least 31 deaths in the Nusayrat refugee camp. Al Jazeera's Hani Mahmoud reported extensive damage, including the destruction of a residential home and uninhabitable surrounding buildings. On the recent updates, the Gaza Civil Emergency Service reported that rescue teams recovered 150 bodies in recent days, and 300 houses were struck by Israel fire. Mavin Carizo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later.
For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Government agencies state that the so-called Gentleman's Agreement on the West Philippine Sea is non-existent. Meanwhile, the Philippine Coast Guard appeals to lawmakers to conclude the hearing on the deal as soon as possible. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The alleged gentleman's agreement on the West Philippine Sea between former President Rodrigo Duterte and Chinese President Xi Jinping is non-existent according to current officials of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of National Defense, National Security Council, as well as Department of Justice. They have no record or information on it. These statements were made during the hearing of the joint House panels of the House Committees on National Defense and Security and the Special Committee on the West Philippine Sea on the alleged gentleman's agreement. Former Chief Executive Duterte previously mentioned that he only remembered agreeing with President Xi to maintain status quo in the West Philippine Sea.
The DFA reiterates its firm position that the Philippines has not entered into any agreement abandoning its sovereign rights and jurisdiction over its exclusive economic zone and continental shelf, including on the Ayungin Shoal.
However, it is with utmost regret that the current DND and its official cannot provide you with adequate understanding or substantial explanation on this matter because we are not privy to any gentleman's agreement with China. We also do not have any record in our possession detailing or potentially showing the contours of a deal.
The NSA has already made it clear that he is not aware, nor was he part of such alleged agreement entered into by the Philippine government. During that time, in 2016, he was still the commanding general of the Philippine Army, and he was not part of the Philippine delegation during a visit to China.
Even the former commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard denied the existence of the said deal.
We have not heard of any gentleman's agreement between the two presidents. Otherwise, it could have been cascaded down to us as the forefront agency in our quest towards protecting our sovereignty and sovereign rights.
In line with this, the PCG has appealed to the lawmakers in the House of Representatives to conclude the hearing as soon as possible. PCG Commandant Admiral Ronnie Hill Gavan says this issue brings division to Filipinos.
We appeal that this hearing be concluded as soon as possible time, as this has the potential to divide our people and this has the potential to confuse us on the ground. It is just an appeal, Your Honor.
However, lawmakers have different views on the matter.
But I have already stated my position before na there is no need for us to conduct a committee hearing because I think the better position for our government to do, and the President has already done that. There is no agreement, and if there is such an agreement, tapos na. I think that is the best position for us.
The fact, if it is proven na nagkaroon ng gentleman's agreement, whether it is rescinded or not, whether it is valid or not, it speaks volumes of our foreign policy. That if it is proven that there was that agreement, shouldn't there be accountability, Mr. Chair? Because that would be, betrayal of the Constitution.
Meanwhile, the invited former top security officials of the Duterte administration did not appear at the hearing. Thus, the joint panels issued a show cause order against former Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana and former National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon.
Nag-issue ng show cause order para po sa former secretaries ng previous administration. Member sila ng security sector.
So, nagtataka ako kung ano yung dapat na kanilang iwasan sapagkat sila ang nakakaalam kung meron ba talaga, first, kung meron ba talaga na gentleman's agreement, pangalawa, kung ano yung napapasa loob dito. So, mas maganda, Mr. Chair, na talagang sila mismo ay magpunta upang linawin kung ano yung kanilang nalalaman.
The former top security officials of the Duterte administration are also invited to the second hearing on Tuesday, May 21. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Coast Guard has released photos revealing significant destruction and depletion of natural resources by Chinese activities at Scarborough Shoal, also known as Bajo de Masinloc. In response, the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea, or NTF-WPS, has challenged China to allow a third-party investigation or open the area to an international assessment to evaluate the extent of the damage at the disputed shoal. Ryan Lacanlale details why.
The Philippine Coast Guard has released photos documenting the widespread harvesting of giant clams in 2016 by Chinese fishermen who are suspected to be members of the Chinese maritime militia. The images also show a sunken service boat, abandoned and left to cause environmental damage at Scarborough Shoal, also known as Bajo de Masinloc. A large stingray was also seen being loaded onto a large boat. 2 sea turtles were photographed, but after 2 days, one was found dead. Even this pufferfish was not spared. When no more giant clams could be found, it is seen that they scrapped the seabed of the shoal, taking even the small shells. There are also photos of piled-up giant clams and dried pufferfish. According to the PCG, since the ruling of The Hague came out in 2016, the preservation and protection of giant clams and coral reefs in the West Philippine Sea, especially in Scarborough Shoal, have been continuously depleted and violated by Chinese fishermen.
So nakakalungkot po na many years after the finding of the 2016 arbitral ruling, wala nagbago. No, sinisira pa rin ng Chinese fishermen, and by extension, tolerated by the Chinese government, the environmental destruction in many parts of the South China Sea, West Philippine Sea, and in particular, Bajo de Masinloc.
In response, the National Task Force West Philippine Sea challenged China to prove that they are not behind this by allowing a third party or submitting Bajo de Masinloc to international scrutiny to determine the true condition of the shoal. According to the National Task Force West Philippine Sea, the situation at the reef is alarming and concerning due to the depleting of giant clams and other natural resources there.
So that is our challenge to China. If it considers itself as a protector of the environment, they should open up Bajo de Masinloc to international observers, let third party, not necessarily the full Philippine Coast Guard, not even Philippine groups, because sasabihin na naman nila, gaya nung sinabi nila sa ginagawa ng ibang mga civilian groups, that these are all part and parcel of Philippine propaganda. So we can ask third-party groups, environmental groups, or any other group to do a fact-finding mission.
The photos and videos serves as evidence that will be used by the government in filing cases against China. Ryan Lacanlale, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The National Police Commission is set to issue an order stripping Bangbang Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo of her police power. This is in connection with the questionable nationality and her alleged link of the Mayor Guo in the illegal operation of Pogo in Tarlac. Department of Interior and Local Government, or DILG Secretary, and National Police Commission, or NAPOLCOM Chairman Ben-Hur Abalos said he has ordered the NAPOLCOM to conduct a proceeding for the withdrawal of Guo's control and supervision of over the Bamban Tarlac Police.
You can have the control and supervision over the police, no? So ang gagawin namin ngayon is I have instructed the POLCOM to initiate proceedings for the withdrawal of the mayor's deputization. Ibig sabihin nito, pagkatapos nga ng investigasyon nito, no, of course may sufficient grounds, we will withdraw the deputization of Mayor Guo. As a consequence, all the privileges attached thereto are revoked immediately, including its control and supervision over its local police.
Secretary Abalos also said they have recommended to the Office of the Ombudsman the suspension of Mayor Guo.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development planned to begin using e-wallets for Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program or 4Ps recipients. The agency believed that using this mode would be more beneficial to beneficiaries living in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas than visiting ATMs in towns. Jed Neresina details why.
Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD announced that the agency has been preparing to gradually shift to e-wallet transactions for distributing aid.
Sisimulan natin yan sa 4Ps kung saan pwede nang sa e-wallet like GCash makuha ang kanilang grants, and later on, imamigrate rin natin sa iba pang programa ng DSWD.
This move is part of the digitalization plan that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. envisions for various government transactions.
Gusto natin, ang layunin natin, ang instruction ng ating mahal na Pangulo, mabawasan na yung mano-mano na pagbigay ng ayuda.
The primary goal is to reduce the manual distribution of cash aids to citizens. Secretary Gatchalian explained that this new method will make it easier for beneficiaries to receive their aid, streamlining the process and ensuring more efficient delivery of assistance.
So ngayon, ang permahan natin sa Globe ay pinagtitibay ang relasyon ng DSWD at Globe para maging mas madali sa ating mga mamamayan ang pagkuha ng kanilang mga ayuda.
He said the agency will also ensure that it is protected against possible illegitimate transactions or scam that could go along with it.
Itong mga to naman are closed loop, like 4Ps closed loop siya kaya nga nakipag-ugnayan tayo sa Globe para masigurado natin na maprotektahan rin yung mga tatanggap ng ayuda.
On the other hand, senior citizen Ernesto Arabago is worried about this change. He said he is not knowledgeable online, so he wanted to manually get the money from the bank just like in the past.
Wala naman akong cellphone. Saka hindi ako marunong mag-cellphone. Kaya sa land bank na lang. Meron kaming ATM.
This is also the fear of Ginalyn Valderramos for her friends who do not have cell phones if their cash aids will be transferred to e-wallets.
Kaya lang yung mga iba kong member ay wala naman silang mga cellphone kasi mahihirap lang din naman. Ay yun ang hassle sa mga ibang member na walang cellphone.
But DSWD Secretary Gatchalian made sure that the government has continuous effort to educate our citizens who are not yet knowledgeable online.
Lahat na part yan ng digital financial literacy na nagaganap ngayon. Nagro-roadshow na kami kasama ng Globe and ng Smart. Umiikot kami sa mga 4Ps beneficiaries natin, lalong-lalo na yun sa malalayong mga lupalop, yung mga GIDA areas, geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, para maturuan nga sila.
In addition, DSWD targets to finish pilot implementation this month and start registering the first 300,000 beneficiaries until 1 million is reached.
The pilot is coming to an end this month, and we are now going to scale it up. The first 300,000 beneficiaries will be signed up, and hopefully next year another 300,000 until we reach 1 million.
Gatchalian added that one of the next steps they are looking at is the possibility of giving gadgets to the beneficiaries of 4Ps so that they have something to use. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, a report by experts is pushing the United Kingdom to embrace artificial intelligence and build a national capability. Based on their study, around £40 billion of savings can be achieved by the government through the use of AI. Gerald Morale will tell us why.
The United Kingdom government could save £200 million over 5 years through using artificial intelligence, based on the report from leading technology firm Faculty and the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. Faculty CEO Mark Warner and former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, who both authored a foreword to the report, warned that failing to modernize and reform can pose a significant risk for the nation. Based on the report, Many tasks in the government are repeatable processes which can be transformed into faster and cheaper processes. It is possible that AI can make public services more personalized and centralized for human needs with the use of £40 billion a year savings. AI could be used to improve different areas of public service, including reducing bed occupancy in the NHS hospitals, processing personal independence payment claims, and reducing teachers' overtime through marking a lesson plan assistance. The pair also said that if AI is properly harnessed, it can be an exciting and creative journey for the government and could make public services more human-centric at this period when government is expensive and slow. Furthermore, the report urges Rishi Sunak or Sir Keir Starmer to establish an AI mission control in the Prime Minister's office within the first 100 days of the government and build its own AI capability for national security and sensitive tasks. This coming summer, the UK government's AI Safety Institute will be opening its first overseas base in San Francisco, United States to encourage international collaboration and strengthen ties with its US counterpart. Gerard Moral, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
William Lai Ching-te took his oath as Taiwan's 16th term president in Taipei today. The new leader is facing domestic and international challenges, including Beijing's military pressure on the self-ruled island. Amiel Pascual tells us why.
William Lai Ching-te sworn in as Taiwan's 16th term president at the presidential office in Taipei on Monday, May 20. Under the portrait of Sun Yat-sen, the founder of the Republic of China, ROC, Lai and Vice President Xiao Bi-khim took their oaths. At the inauguration ceremony, Lai was handed 2 seals, symbolizing his presidential power. Lai then presided the oath-taking ceremony of his appointed officials and newly formed cabinet. Delegations from different countries attended the ceremony, including Taiwan's 12 remaining allied nations from the Pacific, Central America, and the Holy See. President Lai's inaugural address emphasizes on democracy and freedom. In his speech, President Lai commits to promote national development and international cooperation. He also calls on Beijing to stop its political and military intimidation against Taiwan and choose dialogue instead of confrontation.
I hope that China will face the reality of the Republic of China's existence, respect the choices of the people of Taiwan, and in good faith, choose dialogue over confrontation, exchange over containment, and under the principles of parity and dignity, engage in cooperation with the legal government chosen by Taiwan's people.
Lai also promised to address domestic challenges, including price of commodities, house and wealth gap.
I understand the concerns and expectations of the people of Taiwan. As to the issues you are concerned with and the reforms society needs, the government will do its utmost to achieve solutions.
Fighter jets flew in formation over the presidential office after President Lai's address. The inauguration ceremony also featured Taiwan's cultural diversity through different presentations, including pop and local folk music. Meanwhile, China claims Taiwan as a breakaway province and has named Lai a dangerous separatist who will bring war to the self-ruled island. Amiel Pascual, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
A major change in the Senate leadership occurred today, days before session adjourns this week. Arlene Delgado will tell us why.
Days before the second regular session of the 19th Congress adjourns on Friday, May 24, Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri steps down as Senate President today, May 20. This as 14 senators expressed support to Senator Francis Cheese Escudero to replace him as the new Senate chief. In his speech, Zubiri thanked his colleagues as well as Senate employees for supporting him all the way.
Nancy, who's been loyal from day one as a friend, never waving. Thank you, my dear. I love you dearly and your family. Sherwin, may kumpadre. Pare, maraming salamat, pare. You are a good friend and kumpadre. I'm proud that you're the ninong of my son. To Bajo de Rosa, who stuck it out with me till the very end. Sir, I salute you, sir. To the others, my dear friends, my heart is broken. I am proud to have led a Senate that's been resolute in protecting our institution, our democracy, and our people.
He also maintains that the Senate has been independent under his helm. Zubiri also emphasizes his fight against the so-called People's Initiative and the Senate's vocal opposition against China's aggression in the West Philippine Sea.
I have never dictated my position on any of you. You know that. I've always supported your independence, which is probably why I faced my demise today. I failed to follow instructions from the powers that be. Simple as that.
The former Senate chief did not directly answer whether the controversial investigation into the so-called PDEA leaks was the reason behind his resignation and if Malacanang had a role in his ouster.
Sabi ko nga nung sa hearing ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, marami nagalit sa akin sa dalawang panig dahil nga ako po yung naging patas sa dalawang panig. Pero ginawa ko lang pong tungkulin ko bilang Senate President, which is to always keep the committee system strong and independent. I've been very loyal to our President, and in fairness, we've tried to give him good counsel. Kung sa PI, sinabihan ko po siya na masama po ito para sa ating bansa. Umpisa po ito ng kaguluhan. Di ko alam kung nakinig po siya sa akin o hindi.
Senators who sided with Zubiri also stepped down from their posts. Senator Loren Legarda resigns as Senate President pro tempore, with Senator Jinggoy Estrada taking over her position, while Senator Francis Tolentino swears in as the new Senate Majority Leader, replacing Senator Joel Villanueva. Senator J.V. Ejercito also leaves his post as Senate Deputy Majority Leader. Senator Nancy Binay steps down as the chairperson of Senate Committees on Tourism, Accounts, and Ethics, while Senator Sonny Angara also resigns as the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Finance and subcommittee head of the Senate Subcommittee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes. Other lawmakers who supported Zubiri are Senators Sherwin Gatchalian and Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Zubiri adds they will deliberate tonight whether they will join the majority or minority bloc. For his part, Escudero vows to lead a unified Senate under his helm.
My hats off to you, Senate President Zubiri. I salute you and I hope I will make you proud. Maraming salamat po muli sa tiwala at nakahanda po akong pagsilbihan kayo sa anumang makakaya natin habang sabay-sabay natin pinagsisilbihan ang bansa at ang sambayan ng Pilipino.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, has announced the extension of the information drive on e-bike and e-trike ban on national roads for 1 week. JP Nunez will tell us why.
After a month of grace period to e-bike and e-trike users traversing national roads, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, announced today, May 20, that it will extend another information drive for a week. This is also in line to support the President's call to have educational campaign of the regulation. Last April 18, it was President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. who mandated the MMDA to give a month of grace period to e-bike and e-trike users due to some reports that the fines and penalties are burdensome to them. MMDA said they will start the strict implementation by next Monday, May 27.
Itutuloy lang po muna rin natin yung pagtataboy dito sa mga pangunahing lansangan na ito for 1 more week.
After this period, the MMDA will not be lenient to e-bike and e-trike users. They will be fined 1,000 pesos if they are carrying driver's license, while 2,500 pesos of penalty and impound of vehicle if they don't have driver's license. MMDA said during a month of information drive, e-bike and e-trike users traversing national roads decreased.
Over time, parang nasasanay din naman yung ating mga kababayan na bawal sila dito. Although, syempre, from time to time din, merong mga pasaway na pumapasok pa rin. Maybe because alam nila na hindi pa maninikit.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, has reported that the flooded-prone areas in the National Capital Region decreased its number to 80. This amid heavy downpours in the region due to the La Nina phenomenon. Asher Cadapan Jr. details why.
Increased capacity of 71 pumping stations across the National Capital Region helps reduce the number of flooded areas in the metropolis. Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Acting Chairman Romando Don Artes explains this as flooded-prone areas in NCR is down to 80.
So far, nakapag-identify tayo ng 80 flood-prone areas dito sa Metro Manila.
Well, nabawasan na siya actually. Dati mas marami ito. But because of the intervention nga po ng ating DPWH, MMDA at mga local government units, substantially nabawasan na ito.
The MMDA added that improper garbage disposal remains to be one of the leading causes of flash floods in Metro Manila.
Ano ba po ang dahilan nitong mga pagbabaha sa lugar na ito? One, kalimitan ito mababang lugar. So yung mga tubig na galing sa iba't ibang lugar, dito bumababa. Unfortunately, yung pong mga drainage system dito medyo maliit, hindi na kayang i-accommodate yung volume ng tubig. Pangalawa, nababarahan pa ito ng mga basura. Kaya nagkakaroon ng flash flood.
The MMDA reminds the public to do their part in preventing flooding incidents by trashing their garbage properly. Asher Cadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time, on all social media accounts of the Members Church of God International.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word, giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verses 8 to 9, it says, "All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge." And those are the reasons behind the news, May 20, 2024, reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Joselito Liquido, live from Malaysia.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Marby Delfin, live from Australia. We serve the people, we give glory to God.